And joining us now, Santa Fe County Sheriff Adon Mendoza, who's leading this investigation. Do you have any more insight this morning on what may have led to these deaths?
Right now, we don't. Of course, we executed the search warrant yesterday. We don't have more information. We're trying to put things together, put together a timeline when the decedents were last seen or spoken to. So we're trying to put all that information together right now.
A Hollywood legend and his wife were found motionless in their home. A dog perished in a closet. Pills were scattered across the floor. The front door was wide open, and yet there were no signs of forced entry. The final hours of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa are a tragedy obscured by time, a tale of paradox. No indication of foul play, yet everything is anomalous. Why did they both pass simultaneously? Hackman's pacemaker recorded its last signal on February 17, but their bodies weren't discovered until nearly a week later. What truly transpired during those vanished hours? The autopsy report remains inconclusive, but one thing is certain: this story is far from over. No one could have foreseen that February 26, 2025, would mark the final day for Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa. The renowned couple, who chose a tranquil life in New Mexico after stepping away from the Hollywood spotlight, were found deceased in their own home. Police initially stated there were no signs of criminal activity, but the details surrounding the scene continued to raise numerous unresolved questions. When a maintenance worker arrived at the door of the expansive Santa Fe residence, he had no idea he was about to witness a scene that would haunt him for life. The front door was ajar, unlocked, with no signs of a struggle or break-in, yet peering through the window, he saw something amiss. Two figures lay motionless, one on the kitchen floor, the other in the bathroom. A 911 call was made just before 2 p.m. on February 26. When neighborhood security and police arrived, everything was enveloped in an eerie silence, a deathly silence. There were no signs of violence or struggle, Sheriff Adon Mendoza declared at a press conference on February 27, but the details at the scene raised many questions. Gene Hackman, the two-time Oscar-winning actor, was found collapsed near the kitchen area, while his wife, Betsy Arakawa, was discovered on the bathroom floor. Beside her was an open prescription pill bottle, and nearby, a small space heater showed signs of recent use. Most notably, one of their 3 dogs was also found deceased in the bathroom closet. As investigators entered the mansion, they immediately recognized this was no ordinary passing. The front door was open, but there were no signs of forced entry, no items were missing, the house showed no signs of disturbance, no scuffle or violence. 2 of the 3 dogs were healthy, but one was deceased in the closet. A space heater near the bathroom appeared to have been in recent use. Pills scattered on the floor raised suspicions of possible poisoning, but if it was due to medication, why did it affect both individuals simultaneously? And why did one dog perish while the other 2 remained unharmed? A crucial clue emerged: Gene Hackman's pacemaker. According to data from this medical device, its last recorded activity was on February 17, nearly a week before his body was discovered. This information further complicated the investigation. If Gene Hackman passed away on February 17, why didn't Betsy Arakawa call for help, and when did she pass? Sheriff Mendoza affirmed, "We are still piecing together the timeline." There were no signs of carbon monoxide leakage, no external impact wounds, but police have not ruled out the possibility of foul play. Investigators have requested toxicology tests on both bodies to determine if any suspicious substances were present. These tests typically take 4 to 6 weeks. Several initial hypotheses have been proposed. Medication toxicity: the open prescription bottle in the bathroom is a significant detail. It's possible this was an accident where one or both individuals misused medication, or they may have inadvertently come into contact with a toxic substance. Health issues: Gene Hackman, at 95, had a history of heart conditions. Is it possible he passed first, and then Betsy Arakawa, for some reason, followed? External intervention: despite the lack of forced entry, some details remain perplexing. An anonymous investigator stated, "The circumstances surrounding the couple's passing are inherently suspicious enough to warrant a thorough search and investigation." As news of Gene Hackman and his wife's passing spread, Hollywood was stunned. He was not only a cinematic legend but also a symbol of a generation of actors who laid the foundation for modern acting. His family released a poignant statement: "We are deeply saddened to announce the passing of our father Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy. He was loved and admired by millions around the world for his incredible acting career, but to us, he was simply a father and grandfather. We will miss him dearly." No one could have imagined that Gene Hackman would pass away just before the 2025 Oscars, where he was expected to be honored. A close friend shared, "He was supposed to be celebrated this weekend, not mourned. This is heartbreaking." The investigation continues. Official forensic reports have yet to be released, but one thing is certain: there is something abnormal about the passing of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa. Is this merely a bizarre coincidence, a tragic accident, or is there an undisclosed secret? The answers remain ahead, and perhaps the autopsy report will be the key to unlocking all the mysteries. Santa Fe Sheriff Don Mendoza stated in a press conference on February 27, "We are still piecing together the timeline. The fact that Hackman's pacemaker ceased functioning on February 17 suggests that this could be when he passed. But what about Betsy? Surely, if she discovered her husband had passed, she would have called emergency services or informed someone. Yet no such calls were made. This raises several hypotheses. Did Hackman pass first, with Arakawa subsequently experiencing health complications? Hackman, at 95, had a history of heart conditions. If he passed from natural causes, it's possible Arakawa was overwhelmed with shock and grief, leading to her own passing. But if so, why didn't she attempt to contact relatives or doctors? And how were they both discovered at the same time, as if they passed in close proximity? Did some mysterious incident occur on February 17? Could an incident have affected both of them simultaneously, with Hackman passing first due to his weaker constitution? But if there was an external factor, why did Betsy remain alive afterward, and why didn't she call for help? Did Betsy Arakawa pass at the same time as Hackman but was found in a different location? Another hypothesis is that they both passed on February 17, but due to the way their bodies were discovered, police cannot yet determine who passed first. Data from the pacemaker has altered the entire direction of the investigation. If Hackman passed several days prior, what occurred during that period? The scene where Hackman and Arakawa were discovered still presents numerous perplexing details for police. The unlocked front door: if this was a robbery or intrusion, why were there no signs of forced entry? The door was open, but no items were missing. Could this be an oversight by the couple, or did someone enter and leave? Pills scattered in Arakawa's bathroom: Betsy was found on the bathroom floor beside an open prescription bottle. Did she accidentally overdose, or is this a sign of something more serious? One dog deceased in the closet, the other two healthy. This is particularly peculiar. If there was a toxic substance or gas, why did only one dog perish? With the current evidence, police cannot definitively determine who passed first. The pacemaker data only suggests Hackman may have passed on February 17, but nothing confirms the exact time of Betsy Arakawa's passing. Sheriff Mendoza stated, "At this moment, we do not have a definitive answer as to who passed first. The toxicology reports will be crucial in helping us determine the cause of death." Toxicology reports are expected to take 4 to 6 weeks to complete. These will be key to elucidating the cause of death for both individuals. Another critical question is, why did it take nearly a week for Hackman and Arakawa's bodies to be discovered? They lived a rather secluded life in New Mexico, rarely interacted with the media, and seldom appeared in public. Hackman's daughter lives in another state and did not visit frequently. Neighbors noticed nothing unusual as Hackman and Arakawa lived quite privately. Had the maintenance worker not been concerned about the lack of contact and decided to check, their passing might have gone undiscovered for even longer. Some criminal investigation experts suggest they may have been affected by an undetected external factor, gas or carbon monoxide poisoning, but initial investigations show no signs of gas leaks in the house. Adverse drug reactions: could one of them have accidentally taken the wrong dosage, leading to unconsciousness with the other unable to provide timely assistance? Another incident: could Hackman have had an accident and Arakawa was too shocked to react? Key questions remain. 1. Did Hackman truly pass on February 17? If so, what did Arakawa do during the subsequent period? 2. Why was the front door unlocked yet there were no signs of forced entry? 3. Why did only one dog perish while the other two remained healthy? 4. Was there an undetected external intervention? Hackman's pacemaker data has raised more questions than answers. Without further clear evidence, the investigation may extend for weeks, even months. But one thing is certain, the passing of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa is not as simple as initially thought. And while the toxicology reports are pending, the public continues to ask, what truly occurred on February 17th? Time is a merciless adversary. It slowly erases traces, allowing truth to fade into obscurity. But for Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa, time is not just a silent witness, it is a formidable foe. They passed in their own home without a final word, without a warning. But the most perplexing aspect lies not in their passing, but in the vanished hours before their bodies were discovered. What were their final days like, and what truly occurred behind that unlocked door? On February 26th, a maintenance worker arrived to check on Hackman and Arakawa's New Mexico residence. He knocked on the door, no one answered. Peering through the window, he witnessed a chilling scene, the couple motionless on the floor. A 911 call was made immediately. Santa Fe police arrived shortly after, and upon entering, what they found raised a series of questions. The front door was wide open, unlocked. There were no signs of forced entry or struggle inside. One dog was deceased in a closet, while the other two were healthy. Beside Arakawa's body, an open prescription bottle with pills scattered on the bathroom floor. A space heater still retaining warmth. These details defy simple explanation. If this was a break-in, why were no items disturbed? If this was a death from natural causes, why were there such anomalous factors, such as one dog perishing while the others were unharmed? One of the initial hypotheses police considered was carbon monoxide poisoning, a common cause of death in households. But test results refuted this. There were no traces of the toxic gas in either Hackman's or Arakawa's blood. This led to a larger question: if not carbon monoxide, could another toxic substance have entered their bodies? The preliminary autopsy report found no signs of external trauma, but this does not imply the cause of death was natural. Toxicology tests are being conducted to check for any drugs, chemicals, or toxins in their blood, but obtaining results will require several weeks. Meanwhile, the hypothesis that an unexpected event occurred inside the house has not been ruled out. But if something untoward happened, why were there no signs of a struggle or altercation? According to a deputy sheriff's affidavit, Hackman's body was found in a room near the kitchen, lying face down on the floor with no signs of injury. Betsy Arakawa's body, however, was in a different location, in the bathroom, near an open pill bottle. The positioning of the bodies raises questions. An investigative source stated, if they both passed simultaneously, why were they not together? If Hackman passed first, why did Arakawa not call for help? Police found a prescription bottle near Betsy Arakawa, with pills scattered on the bathroom floor. This could be mere coincidence, or it could be a sign of something more serious. Could Betsy Arakawa have accidentally overdosed, or did someone stage the scene in this manner? But the most mysterious element is the dog that passed in the closet. Why did only one pass while the other two survived? Did it pass from natural causes, or did something in the house affect it? Investigators are examining the dog's remains to see if there are signs of poisoning. If the dog passed from a toxic substance, it could be a crucial clue to Hackman and Arakawa's cause of death. Another detail that perplexes police is the unlocked front door of the house. If Hackman and Arakawa passed several days before being discovered, who opened the door? Did they forget to lock the door before passing, or did someone enter and exit the house after they passed? Police reviewed area security camera footage, but there were no unusual signs. No one was seen entering or exiting Hackman's house during the period from February 17th to 26th. But there is a strange detail: no signs of theft, no ransacked belongings. This gives rise to a chilling hypothesis: if someone did enter the house, it might not have been a robbery, but something else. The individual who discovered Hackman and Arakawa's bodies was a maintenance worker who came to check on the house. In the 911 call, he said he had been unable to contact the couple for several days, and when he looked through the window, he saw them motionless. In his statement to police, he described something peculiar: The house felt untouched, yet something was off. The air felt strange. No signs of disturbance, but the atmosphere in the house was unusual. This led police to ask, if Hackman and Arakawa had passed since February 17, why did the house not show signs of decay or the odors typically associated with prolonged deaths? Sheriff Mendoza stated in the February 27 press conference, "We are looking at all possibilities. No conclusion has been reached yet. With all the available clues, the investigation cannot yet draw a final conclusion. But crucial questions remain. 1. Did Hackman and Arakawa pass simultaneously or days apart? 2. What caused the dog to pass, and is it related to their deaths? 3. Why was the door unlocked, and did anyone enter the house? 4. What will the toxicology results reveal? Each answer could open a new direction for the investigation, and until the truth is revealed, the public cannot cease asking what truly occurred in Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's final hours. Inside their mansion, time seemed to have stood still. The house was eerily silent, as if it harbored an unspeakable secret. When investigators entered, no one knew what they were about to confront, but what they discovered inside left everyone bewildered. Pills scattered on the bathroom floor, Hackman collapsed near the kitchen, his hand as if reaching for something, and their loyal dog also motionless, as if it had passed alongside its owners. All these details paint a mysterious picture. Was this a random tragedy, a planned calamity, or was something else lurking in the shadows of this home? While examining the scene, police found a prescription bottle near Betsy Arakawa's body in the bathroom, but the peculiarity lay not only in the bottle but in how the pills were scattered on the floor. Did Arakawa accidentally spill the pills when taking her final dose, or did someone deliberately do so to stage a false scene? If it was suicide, why did Hackman also pass? Preliminary autopsy results showed no signs of struggle or trauma on Arakawa's body, but a larger question arose: did Hackman know what was happening to his wife? Did he try to save her but was too late? A chilling hypothesis emerged: if Arakawa was in danger first, Hackman might have tried to help her and then became a victim himself of something unseen. Gene Hackman's body was found near the kitchen, lying face down on the floor. There were no signs of severe impact, but his posture suggested something strange. Hackman appeared to have tried to rise or reach for something before collapsing. The kitchen showed no signs of disturbance, but a space heater still retained warmth. A glass of water on the table remained unfinished. If Hackman truly passed after his wife, why didn't he call emergency services? Another hypothesis was proposed: if Hackman and Arakawa were poisoned or affected by some substance, Hackman might have tried to seek help but was too late. However, everything remains speculation until toxicology results are released. No one can be certain. When investigators examined the dog's remains, they found no signs of obvious injury, leading them to hypothesize about the possibility of poisoning or inhalation of a toxic gas. A source stated that police are conducting tests to determine the dog's cause of death. If it passed from a toxic substance, it could be the key to decoding Hackman and Arakawa's deaths. As investigators continued to examine the house, they discovered more perplexing details. The living room lights were on, but the TV was off, an open book on the table as if someone was in the middle of reading, no signs of forced entry, but the front door was wide open. These details might seem insignificant, but when pieced together, they paint a contradictory picture. If Hackman and Arakawa passed since February 17, who opened the door? Why did the house look intact as if time had stopped? These questions led investigators to hypothesize that someone might have been in the house after Hackman and Arakawa passed. A detail that puzzled police was the lack of any calls for help from Hackman or Arakawa in the days before they passed. Number 911 calls, no desperate messages to friends or relatives, no signs they tried to contact anyone. This made the hypothesis of a sudden and rapid passing more plausible. If one person passed from natural causes, the other would have tried to seek help, but if both passed within a short period without anyone reacting, could an external factor have intervened? In a statement on February 28, Sheriff Mendoza said, "We are treating this case with utmost caution. No ruling has been made yet, and every possibility is being investigated." What does this mean? They are not ruling out any possibilities. They are neither confirming this as a natural passing nor denying the possibility of human involvement. More time is needed for toxicology results and scene analysis, but as police continue to investigate, the public cannot cease asking what truly occurred in Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's home. Were they victims of some conspiracy, or was this merely a series of tragic events ordained by fate? Only time will tell, but until then, Hackman and Arakawa's mansion will remain a place of mystery, a home not only containing memories but also the ghosts of unsolved secrets. The passing of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa has left an irreplaceable void in the hearts of fans and those who knew them, but alongside the pain of loss, there are still unanswered questions. Hollywood is mourning a legend, but the mystery surrounding his passing remains shrouded like an undrawn curtain. What truly occurred inside the New Mexico home? Police assert that the investigation is ongoing. Meanwhile, the cinematic world and the public cannot cease wondering, is this a random tragedy, or is there something hidden in Gene Hackman's final moments? Just days before the Oscars, Gene Hackman, one of Hollywood's greatest legends, was discovered passed with his wife in their quiet home, a strange coincidence or something more symbolic. Hackman, a two-time Oscar winner, had long stepped away from the screen, but for the new generation of Hollywood, his name remains an enduring monument. His passing at this time evokes the feeling of a final curtain call, a mysterious end to a glorious life. Some fans ask, was Hackman planning a comeback before passing? Did he have something left unsaid? Whether mere coincidence or of profound significance, the passing of a legend like Hackman during the most prestigious award season in the film industry has deepened the sorrow. While the public buzzes, Hackman and Arakawa's family has chosen silence. No statements questioning their passing, no declarations demanding further investigation, only sadness and regret. A close source revealed, they just want to remember Gene for the life he lived, not for the way he passed. Does this mean the family believes this was a natural passing, or do they simply not wish to confront endless speculation? Whatever the answer, the family's silence amplifies the atmosphere of mystery. Notably, although the scene showed no signs of forced entry or disturbance, there are still peculiar details unresolved. Why was Hackman near the kitchen as if he tried to do something before collapsing? Why were there no calls from either of them in their final hours? Is the dog's passing beside them a significant sign or mere coincidence? All remain pieces that do not yet fit together. The final answers may lie in the official autopsy report. According to forensic experts, this will be the most crucial document to determine the true cause of death, the presence of any toxins or overdoses, the precise time of Hackman and Arakawa's passing. If the report shows they both passed from natural causes, this mystery may close, but if there are traces of foreign substances, everything will take a different turn. The public awaits, and in the meantime, Hollywood mourns a monument that passed in silence. Whether Gene Hackman's cause of death is clarified or not, one thing cannot be changed: his legacy endures. He is one of the greatest actors of all time. He shaped a generation with his classic roles. He left Hollywood in peace, but his name has never been forgotten. As one viewer said, "We lost a legend, but legends never truly pass." The curtain has fallen, but Gene Hackman's story will live on. Hollywood has seen many tragic farewells, but few leave behind more questions than answers. The passing of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa should have been a quiet moment of remembrance for a legendary actor and his devoted wife. Instead, it became an enigma, a story with missing pages, a script left unfinished. The investigation into their deaths remains officially open, yet no suspect has been named, no foul play has been confirmed, and no clear cause has been established. Everything about their final days exists in a haze of contradictions. The scene inside their New Mexico home was at once peaceful and deeply unsettling. Two lifeless bodies lying in separate rooms, a prescription bottle left open on a counter, pills scattered across the bathroom floor, a fireplace near Arakawa's body, a dog inexplicably dead inside a closet. But even stranger than what was found was what wasn't: no signs of forced entry, no struggle, no clear external trauma. The couple appeared to have simply ceased to exist, their lives halted in a way that defied logic. If no one entered and they never left, what exactly happened inside that house? Then there was the timing. Authorities estimate Hackman's pacemaker recorded its last heartbeat on February 17, but they were not discovered until February 26, 9 days of silence. 9 days where their home stood still, untouched, unseen. Perhaps the most haunting question of all: did they die together, or was one left behind? If Hackman's heart stopped on February 17, what about Arakawa? Did she pass at the same time, or did she spend days alone in that house with only their surviving dogs for company? The idea of one of them living, breathing, waiting, wondering while the other had already gone is almost unbearable to imagine. Investigators have not released the full toxicology reports, though they have ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning. That in itself is significant. If carbon monoxide was the culprit, their deaths could be explained as an accident, but it wasn't. So what was? Hackman's children, though grieving, have not publicly questioned the circumstances of their father's death. No accusations, no calls for deeper investigation. A quiet acceptance or something more. Hollywood, meanwhile, prepares to pay tribute. The timing of Hackman's death, just days before the Academy Awards, only adds to the eerie nature of this loss. He was supposed to be honored, remembered for his roles on screen. Instead, his final act became a mystery. Will the Oscars shine a light on his legacy, or will it be overshadowed by the unanswered questions surrounding his last days? The world moves on, the headlines will fade, the police will eventually close the case, whether with a definitive answer or a lingering uncertainty. But some stories never truly end. There will always be those who wonder about the pills, the dog, the locked doors that were never forced open, about Hackman's last heartbeat and whether someone else was there to hear it. Gene Hackman has taken his final bow, but the echoes of his last days still whisper through the corridors of Hollywood. Hollywood mourns a legend, Hackman's family chooses silence, police continue the investigation, but the truth lies somewhere hidden among forensic reports, scattered pills, and undisclosed secrets. Gene Hackman has passed, but his story has not.